Hey everyone, it's Caito, and today we are playing Palworld, and we are going to be creating my first base. And of course, we can't just create a base. We have to make it aesthetic. So I am starting out, I already have the foundation set because I felt like I needed something to start with here, and I just have some of the wooden foundation flooring and then one piece of the stone flooring, which is actually going to be our porch area. The actual base here is going to be pretty simple as far as the layout goes. It's almost going to be just a big giant rectangle with a small tiny little porch cut out. It's my first base that I'm actually putting effort into, so we're going to start simple, and as I upgrade, I do plan on doing more complicated builds in the future. So as I said, starting off, I decided that I did want to have this tiny little porch area, and I wanted the stone foundation for the porch to kind of distinguish it from everything else. Now, as far as my preference goes, when I'm building my base, I really prefer these walls that have the windows in them. I don't know if I'll necessarily use them for every single wall because then I feel like it gets to be too repetitive, but also the other one just feels like a lot. Like when I'm just looking at the big log wall, I don't know. I like the openness of the ones with the windows. So you're gonna see me using a lot of those. So I've finished off the front and some of the side of this build. I've also added the 2 triangle pieces on the sides of that porch because I am going to have an angled roof here. Now, one thing about the roofing in Palworld, it is so finicky to place it down. So I highly recommend placing a roof down on the first layer, climbing up, and then you can place it where you actually want it to go. And then once you've placed all of your roof pieces, you can just come back, go into your build menu. At the bottom, you're gonna see disassembly mode, and you can easily just remove those roof pieces that you placed initially. You will get the materials back, so you're not losing anything by doing this. And it just makes it so much easier because placing the roof can be such a headache. On the sides of my base, I'm just gonna do 2 triangular pieces and then a window right in the center. And really, it's just gonna be exactly the same on the other side. I'm not doing anything super special with the actual shape of this other than the tiny cutout in the middle. I will say that my building process does tend to be all over the place. I like to make sure that things are going to actually work the way that I want them to on one side before I go to the other side and do everything exactly the same and then realize it's not going to work. But once I have the front roofing placed down, then I'm just adding the flat roofing tiles on the top. I play around with potentially adding another layer of the roof, but I end up hating how it looks, so I just delete it. And after finishing up the roof on the back here, we do end up with kind of a barn-inspired base. And I even ended up doing kind of a wraparound porch along the back because I do have a door on the back side and on this right side of the base, with the intention of being able to access the interior of my base from multiple different points. Now, I don't know if we unlock fences at some point because I would love to have a fence that went around my porch. At the time of building this, I'm only at level 19, so I definitely don't have access to everything, but I'm really excited to see what else we unlock. And then hopefully they continue to add more things in the future for us to decorate with. Okay, so here we have it. This is the final skeleton of my base here. And I really wanted to focus on decorating this porch because making things look pretty is really important to me. And if I have that as an option in a game, I'm definitely going to take it. So we're going to style this porch now. And like I said, I'm only level 19, so I'm definitely just going to be working with what I've unlocked. And then as I progress in the future, I can destroy things or just continue to add on to what I've decorated. Let's be honest, I'll probably end up just destroying this and creating something new, but I wanted to start out here. Another tip I wanted to mention, once you've unlocked the rugs will not place down after you've already placed other items. You can put them underneath stuff. At first, I thought I wasn't going to be able to. You just have to place them down first, which is kind of annoying because you really have to know where you're going to put the rug. And I would rather it be the other way around and me be able to place the rug last. but you can layer them, which is nice. So I'm gonna start out with this rug here right at the front door, and then I'm just gonna start placing some random stuff, barrels, stools, and lots of plants. Another thing I've noticed as I've been decorating is with these plants specifically, this white pot with kind of the draping plant, it's not easy to place on top of things. You can do it, but it's not easy to do. So you kind of have to climb the wall or get onto the level of whatever you're trying to place it on top of. And that's how you're going to place it down. A lot of these items can just be really finicky about where you can actually put them, but you do really have a lot of options. So just kind of fiddle with it, and hopefully you'll eventually be able to place it exactly where you want to put it. I really wanted to work with kind of layering all of the different plants, different heights, and I knew that I wanted to have one of these benches underneath a window. I really just love all of these different furniture sets they have, and I wanted to use as many of them as possible that would make sense on the porch out here. Now, another one of my favorite things is this ivy that you can hang on the walls, and I'm gonna put this stuff everywhere. It's going to be hanging on every wall, outside, inside my house. I knew that I wanted to have a ton of this stuff. It just looks so good. It's so cottagecore, and you just get that overgrown vibe mixed with all the plants that I'm putting out here. I just really think it brings everything together, and I love playing around with kind of piecing the different ones in different places. I loved hanging it over the door, hanging them over windows, under windows, kind of along the bottom of the walls. There's so many different things you can do with it. And if you're someone who likes decorating, I highly recommend unlocking the hanging plants as soon as you can. Another item that I really love is this alarm bell. I also have a wooden crate that I decided to put by the front porch, but I just think the alarm bell is so cute. I know that it's not supposed to be used aesthetically, but I'm just trying to work with what I have, and I thought it would look cute here outside of this window, so I decided to put it here. Because why not? Who says I can't have the alarm bell right outside my house? I don't know how much of this ivy I've hung at this point, but there are some times when I feel like less is more, but with this stuff, I feel like more is more, and I need to have as much as possible. So I just keep hanging it up, and then I keep going out to the trees and chopping them down to get more fiber so I can have more of the ivy to hang on the walls. I know that the porch already has a ton of different seating options, but it didn't feel finished until I put this wooden chair right here at the very front. And I just think it filled the space perfectly right here, and it made this one tiny section feel complete. And then after placing that chair, I did feel like I needed to put just a few more things right next to the porch. So I decided to do another little cluster of plants. I really like to do things in clusters of 3 or 5 because it's just visually the most appealing. So I did one more grouping. I added a little bit more ivy. I went ahead and slept to bring us to the next day, and here is the final product. This is the beginning of my first base in Palworld. I love the look of this. I just think it's so cozy and inviting, despite the fact that we are in a survival game. Don't you want to live here? I'm so excited to continue working on this base because obviously I have a lot more work to do. I do want to start decorating the inside, but I hope you all enjoyed this simple first base build. If you did, I'd appreciate if you'd like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.